What is up, everybody? We are back. I'm Alex. We got Charles. We got Aaron. We are going to continue with our playoff predictions with the AFC. And starting off, Saturday is the Colts and the Texans. Who do you guys have? Charles, I'm going to go with you because you always have predictions.
Yeah, no, I'll definitely kick this off, and I think the Texans are going to win. DeAndre Hopkins getting hurt a little bit was kind of concerning, very concerning, especially with Demaryius Thomas going out.
Mm-hmm.
But D Hop's all right, and then they have good filler players, and that's what you need. Lamar Miller's going to be playing, so I have them winning 27-17. One quick thing I did think was something to look at is Andrew Luck turns the ball over a lot, and you guys are going to hear me say this a lot.
Yes.
He turns the ball over a ton, and the Colts defense or their turnover margin is only +2. The Texans is +13, which is I believe second or third in the NFL. So that's something huge to be said. And that Texans defense is swarming. You got the addition of Honey Badger, and then obviously J.J. Watt and Jadeveon Clowney. That duo, you could argue, is second to none. So that's my pick. Texans 27-17 over the Colts.
All right, I'll follow that up. I actually have the Colts winning this one, and I have them winning a close one on the road. I've got 28-24 Colts. I think it's no arguing that the Colts are the hottest team in football right now going into the playoffs, winning 9 out of 10 in a row.
No arguing.
And I think when Andrew Luck does not turn the ball over, he is almost, if not already, elite. In his efficiency, in his ability to throw the football. I think he does show some immaturity in turning the ball over, and that could just be, his first season back from serious shoulder injury.
Or his whole career.
I think he plays well this game. I think the Colts are going to pull out on top, but it'll be a close one.
What was your score, Aaron?
28-24.
Ooh. For me, I feel like the Texans overall are a better team. I think they lose by a last-second field goal.
The Texans lose?
Yes, Texans lose. I think Indianapolis wins. Like I said, last-second field goal, 10-13 Colts. It's going to be a low-scoring game because of the turnovers. Andrew Luck, I predict, is going to have 3 interceptions. He's going to have 3 turnovers himself. Deshaun Watson. Do we really know who he is yet? I think he's gonna,
so. Yeah.
I mean, he hasn't really proven himself too much. I know he hasn't played that many games, but playoff time, I think he is going to turn the ball over at least twice. Overall, the Texans do have a better team. But I think it's going to come down to the
better quarterback.
No, the better kicker.
Wow.
That's a top pick if I ever heard one.
Yeah,
Come on.
there you go.
You know what?
He's going to do it.
Alex, you really hit it on the nose there. The Texans, when healthy, are no-brainer the better team. I agree 110%. I think it's the Texans haven't been there. They're an inexperienced team, especially in the playoffs. And the Colts, with a healthy Andrew Luck, have been there before. Andrew Luck knows what it takes to win a playoff game. I know he hasn't gotten it done and taken them all the way, but he's been close. I think he can get it done. But you're right. The Texans are a better team. If you asked me this question 3 weeks ago, who wins a playoff game, I'd pick the Texans without even thinking twice. But the Colts have been on a run, and I don't think it's going to stop just yet.
I mean, you also got to understand. You also have to think that T.Y. Hilton, he's also hurt. So he's also going to be playing a little sore. I know he's not his number one receiver, but he is the receiver for the Colts.
Yeah.
That's fair. Marlon Mack, too. Marlon Mack's playing great.
Yeah, he is. He's playing fantastic, too. And then Ebron for the Colts
I was gonna say, that offense, Andrew Luck doesn't have a go-to receiver. He's got a go-to tight end.
Right.
And Ebron's been the best in as far as catching touchdown passes this year. He's been pretty great. He has more touchdown passes this year than he had his entire career in Detroit. I mean, Andrew Luck has revitalized his career. And I think Ebron the same for Andrew Luck.
Yeah. And it's not like Ebron was playing with a bad quarterback. He was playing with Matt Stafford.
Right.
So it's just, Andrew Luck's scheme's way better for him. And I will leave it here. I do think that Andrew Luck plays great. If you don't think he's a tier 1 or top tier 2 quarterback, then I don't know if you watch football a lot.
Right.
But I just don't see him beating the Texans. That defense is crazy.
Well, one last thing I will say about Andrew Luck is that he's playing like everyone was expecting him to play. When he was drafted, the way he's playing now is how I thought he should be playing before he got hurt.
Fair. That's a good point.
I mean, he can only go up, right? I mean, yes, he can go back down, but
he can snowboard again.
Right. Right. So, any final thoughts on that game?
No, I think we nailed that one on the head.
Jadeveon Clowney and J.J. Watt get 6 sacks and force 2 fumbles.
Wow. Okay.
That's a bold prediction.
I don't think so.
But I like it. All right, so we're going to move on to the Ravens-Chargers game that is Sunday night. Who do you guys have?
I'll kick this one off.
I think it's Sunday night. Let me rephrase. I think it's Sunday in the evening or day. Sorry. Anyway,
either way,
Sunday.
Either way, I've got the away team winning again here. I think had the Chargers not laid an absolute egg against this very team in Week 16, the Chargers would have a better. They could very easily be a 1 seed right now. They're the most complete team in the AFC right now, in my honest opinion. And I don't trust the Ravens running game to keep going at the pace it is. I think Lamar Jackson is going to crumble under the pressure. The Ravens are a great team, and they're going to be a great team in 2 to 3 years, maybe even longer. But you can't rely on your quarterback to rush for over 100 yards every game and expect to win playoff football because it's different. It's a different monster, and the Chargers have a complete team all the way around.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. I think the Chargers are going to win 35-20 over Baltimore. You don't give, as Aaron said, you don't give these prolific quarterbacks like Phillip Rivers another chance, especially when you know that you messed it up or did 1 or 2 things wrong the game before. You just don't do it. And then the addition, Melvin Gordon's trying to re-up himself because, he got hurt toward the end. And Melvin Ingram hasn't been putting up the numbers, but he has still been causing those double teams, having Joe Bosa come on the other side and, knock someone's lights out. Derwin James is playing just as good, if not better, than any defensive rookie in the league. So I think the Chargers are going to blow them out by 15.
And going back with what Charles said, my score is very close to what yours was. I didn't mention, I don't believe, 31-17 Chargers.
Yeah.
Okay. You guys are going to laugh at me, and I think everyone else will also. I think Lamar Jackson gets benched. I think he gets benched in the first quarter because they fall behind 21-0. In the first quarter. I think the Chargers are an overall better coached team. Like, their players on defense, their offense, they are well coached. They know what they have to do to win a game. Plus, they're experienced.
You say that, Alex, and it seems like a real hot take. If the Chargers do go out to a big lead like that, it wouldn't surprise me if they did bench Lamar Jackson. You're benching a rookie who is arguably one-dimensional in his game, or a Super Bowl MVP.
True.
It's true. Joe Flacco is not elite by any stretch of the imagination, but you have a Super Bowl MVP in a very similar situation, very similar team, in my opinion, to what they have now, as far as going into the playoffs a little underrated. Or not underrated, because I think they're getting the respect they deserve. But Joe Flacco's been there, done that if they were in the same situation with Joe Flacco, it'd be a better game, in my opinion.
I look at this like we looked at the Dolphins with their new collegiate style offense a few years ago. I look at it like we looked at Tim Tebow post Broncos. I think he was doing fine in Denver. Subject for another day. But when he went to New York, everyone understood what he was going to do. After about 9-10 games, people started understanding what the Dolphins were going to do with their Wildcat. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
People are going. This is the NFL. This isn't college. This isn't high school. People are going to understand, adjust. Especially as Alex said, Anthony Lynn is a great coach. One of the nominees, I believe, for Coach of the Year. It's. Again, Phillip Rivers, the mind is going to beat him if nothing else. And the receivers, we haven't even talked about the receivers, man.
Right.
Like Keenan Allen, come on.
Antonio
Travis
Gates,
Benjamin.
he's a huge threat.
Yeah.
I know he's not a receiver, but tight end. He is.
Hunter Henry's back this week, if I'm not mistaken.
He is. Yep.
That's a huge addition.
Yep.
I think the Chargers win. I think Joe Flacco comes in, brings that score back, but I think it's going to be 32-21.
Okay. Yeah, we're all around the same.
I like that. Yeah.
Fairly close. Yeah.
So, any last comments about any of the games happening for AFC?
I think for the NFL's sake, I would like to see Lamar Jackson air it up a little bit more and be efficient in airing it up.
Yes.
For his sake, for the NFL's sake, and for the Ravens' peace of mind.
I think you need to look back at Lamar Jackson when he was in college, and he was electric his entire collegiate career at Louisville. But his freshman season, 10 times more explosive of an offense than his sophomore season. Because like Charles said, you're going to get figured out one way or another. His numbers were still great. I'm not saying that he wasn't great his second year, but he wasn't putting up the same numbers, obviously, to win a back-to-back Heisman trophies.
D1 teams adapted. That's exactly what happened.
And the NFL teams, if you don't think that NFL teams are going to adapt to what he's doing, you're out of your mind. And the last thing I'll touch on here is my favorite my favorite defensive statistic is QB pressures, because you look at defensive players and their sacks, and if their sack numbers are down, you don't think they're getting the production or their numbers are low overall. But if you're getting QB pressures, you're affecting the game in more ways than one. You're affecting the way the offense is going to play their game throughout the game. And I think the Chargers are going to their QB pressures are going to be through the roof against this quarterback who is his first tendency is to scramble.
Yep.
So, any last words?
I'm good.
So, before we go, I think this is the best wildcard weekend for both NFC and AFC that we've had in a very long time. In my opinion, all the teams are well-rounded, and they are playing each other, if that makes sense. Like, their defenses are about the same, their offenses are about the same. So, that being said, we are Sports Allegiances Podcast. I'm Alex. There's Charles. Got Aaron. Please like, comment, subscribe, and check us out on YouTube. I'm sorry, Instagram. We're already on YouTube. You guys have a wonderful night.
Thanks, guys.